Hello, I'm Corey. This is another thing I like to call gun talk, and today we're going to talk about micro draco. Weapon is clear. Now, some people consider these just to be range toys. I disagree. I think there is practical use to it. For instance, living in a 2-story home, I can definitely defend my home in certain scenarios, certain positions. If I was ever in a car and I'm in more of a secluded area, multiple people run up on me, this is something I could use to defend myself. 30-round magazine, so it's got capacity. Not to say it's the most accurate weapon in the world. I'm not saying any of that, but I took it to the range. I was shooting it at 20 yards, and it was accurate at that distance. So it's definitely not a rifle. It's not something you're going to shoot 100 yards and be accurate with, but as far as, a bug out, bad weapon, self-defense weapon, it's definitely a good choice. Being the 7.62 round, is powerful. Now, you're losing velocity with the shorter barrel, obviously. But, honestly, the recoil was all right to mitigate. And I think some of that has to do with being the micro draco versus the full-size draco and losing that velocity. I think you're able to mitigate the recoil a little bit more. It's the AK platform. Obviously, reliability is there. And it's a good-looking gun. You got the wood, obviously, on the front grip. I like that. And some people modernize and they put folders on them and stuff and make them a little bit more accurate. So I think that's actually okay to do. Me personally, I'm probably just going to keep it as is, keep it stock. I like the way she looks. Like I said, it was a decently accurate weapon within short distance, obviously. Is it my first go-to weapon? No, I wouldn't say all that. Obviously in a crowded area, I wouldn't use this weapon for self-defense or anything, but secluded and, back roads, things like that where people aren't around and I get attacked. Yeah, it'd be a good go-to weapon for multiple assailants. So, guns are guns. You'll hear me talk about this a lot. I think they all have practical use. Even ones, don't believe everything you see online. People say this and that. This isn't useful. That's not useful. It's not true, man. They're tools. They're all useful, and they all serve a purpose. And legally speaking, this is considered a pistol. So if you have a CCW, you can carry in most states, and you can conceal carry this weapon in a backpack. So that makes it a good option versus riding with a rifle around and everything. Of course, you have your handgun on your person, and then you could have this as a backup for, shit hit the fan type of weapon, that sort of thing. Thank you.